Hi, welcome to another episode of Healthy Food, Happy You. Today we have Lisa Miles Jackson with us. What's the name of the recipe, by the way?
It's zucchini pasta with marinara and pesto sauce.
Oh, great. Sounds delicious. So what do you have there?
Today's paper, the Washington Post on July 7th, 1 out of 4 children talks about the government program for children, subsidized lunches, that each child gets 2 celery sticks, 4 ounces of canned oranges, chocolate milk, and a bologna sandwich. And we're here to talk about healthy food, and that it doesn't have to be complicated, it doesn't have to be expensive, it can be simple and easy. There's a lot of confusion about what's healthy and what's not. There's a lot of myths, medical myths about what's healthy, what's not, and a lot of confusion in the marketplace. And I think there's a lot of issues from the food industry, the pharmaceutical industry, the healthcare industry that's keeping us sick. Mm-hmm. Okay. We don't have just an epidemic of hunger, we have an epidemic of obesity, of heart disease, of cancers, of diabetes, so much more than since I graduated from nursing school 32 years ago.
Yeah, tell us about your background.
So I started out in healthcare 32 years ago as a registered nurse. I worked with medical surgical patients with diabetes, heart disease, cancers, and I saw that we had this revolving door syndrome where we were treating symptoms but not really the causes. Patients would come in diabetic with 100 pounds overweight with large ulcers, and we would treat the ulcers, and we would stop the families from bringing in food and put them on a strict 1,800 calorie ADA diet, and then they'd go home and then come back again. Of course, a month later, they'd lose the weight, they'd heal the wounds, and then I went on to working with a 12-step rehab program, which shows really we treated the whole person. We did nutrition, we did family work, we talked about the whole mind-body work, and then I ran a crisis center for a while. And then I left healthcare altogether and worked in sales and marketing and business development, and had a pretty successful career that kept my children in school and paid for their education. And now, as I'm figuring out what I want to be when I grow up, I decided a couple of years ago to go back and really coaching. A lot of people have always asked me, what's your secret? I look pretty good for having 4 adult children, ages 24 to 31, and my take is it shouldn't be a secret. Eating well. I've always done yoga. I've been trained in vinyasa and Let Your Yoga Dance, and work with clients on breathing and meditation and whole lifestyle. It's not just about the food, it's what we think, and it's the behavior changes we make. And we all need, we're all social, we need help sometimes meeting our goals. So that's what coaching does. I think it's really the missing piece in our healthcare system. We spend, do you know how much we spend a year in healthcare?
No idea.
We spend more than the war in Iraq and Afghanistan just treating diabetes alone.
Wow.
We spend over $2.8 trillion a year in healthcare. And do you know what we're ranked?
I'm not sure, but one of the worst, I assume.
We're ranked, the last I heard, this in February was it's over 41 worldwide in the World Health Organization in health. So,
and we spend the most.
And we spend more than the next 15 countries combined. In fact, a lot of my clients are women who, very successful, motivated, intelligent women who have come to the US and gotten sick because of the food. We're the only country in the world that hasn't labeled, that even allows, much less refuses to label genetically modified foods.
It's ridiculous.
The chemicals, the pesticides that we put in our food, in our hair care, in our skin care is not allowed, it's banned. A lot of these chemicals have been tested and banned in Europe and elsewhere, but they're not here. So we have a new term called obesogens that are in our processed foods. So feeding kids processed foods is not the answer. What we're going to do here today is show you from my garden and from the local farmers market, fresh vegetables and really nice herbs that are really easy. Teaching our children how to have their own little gardens. where does life come from? Where does the food come from, the nutrition, and make it local, organic? Give them seeds. Give a little garden. It can be in a pot, in a windowsill. It doesn't have to be in acres of land either. So we're going to make a wonderful Italian pasta dinner that I fed to my friend just a couple of nights ago for her birthday celebration dinner. So if you need something that's working mothers and women, you need something that's quick and easy, we're going to make this in 15 minutes. Just go pick it from your garden, and we're going to have a nice feast. How's that
Great.
sound? A lot of mothers ask me, say my kids won't eat greens. In fact, I've done a green smoothie demo for Whole Foods just to show that kids can eat greens. And here we've got a green zucchini, which actually came from a CSA, a local farmer's market. My zucchini is not quite ready yet. And this is a spiruli. Kids can really have fun. My nephews, I've made this when we've been on vacation together. It's a little spiruli, and you just put it in and roll it, and here's your pasta. So much faster than boiling water. I found with one of the motivators here is my daughter was diagnosed with cancer. And we recognized that she was having chronic stomach aches and migraines before she got sick, which probably predisposed her body to developing cancer, that she has a gluten allergy. And more people are having gluten allergies. And even the gluten-free pastas, which may be better, they're not, they still have a very high glycemic index and cause insulin resistance. And why replace a bad thing with something that's maybe not quite so bad when you can replace it with beautiful zucchini pasta? Now, any raw food you can make, I'm going to do more here. You can make it al dente by putting a little salt or olive oil on it, or any dressing can make it a little al dente, or you can keep it a little smoother. We're going to put a marinara sauce and a pesto sauce on it. And this can be long, so I will cut it. Otherwise, you can have two. Your strands might be too big. Isn't that pretty? And that is a great way to serve a traditional pasta. And if you want to make it a little softer, just put it and massage it a little bit. And it will, when you make, I'm doing a fermenting class, actually for the Mindfulness Center in September. And we'll make kimchi, which again, you just put some salt and massage it. And cabbage, kale, and make it al dente. Isn't that pretty? Colorful.
For years, scientists have explored remote corners of the earth, searching for exotic substances that might help prevent cancer. At last, man has discovered a secret place where powerful remedies can actually be found. Medical research shows that a vegetarian diet rich in fruits, vegetables, and whole grains can help prevent many types of cancer. Wherever you live, cancer prevention is as close as your grocery store. To learn more, call 866-906-WELL.
I hope you enjoyed that PSA from PCRM. And we're back in our studio, and it's a sauce time.
Mm-hmm. So, Carpe Diem Wellness, I do corporate and individual health and wellness coaching. As I said, I think it's a missing piece of our healthcare, of our healthcare. So, I'm really kind of a bridge. I help people look and feel their best by the foods they eat, as well as their thoughts they think. What are the automatic negative thoughts or your self-limiting thoughts that keep you stuck? I really like working with professional, busy women who are intelligent, who are on the go and want to be their best. As I said, I've had that history. I know what it's like. I've had my own businesses. I know what it's like to be overfunctioning, overworked, and how do we reduce stress? Because stress is really what's the underlying cause of most of these illnesses. So it's eliminating the toxins in our food, in our environment, and having quick, easy meals, as well as learning self-care. So I like to start out with juicing and smoothies because it's a very easy thing to bring into your life. Much better than that processed cereal to eat in the morning. You want something quick? Instead of coffee and donuts, in 5 minutes you can have a really healthy breakfast. Take it in a big glass bottle and have it throughout the day. I do a Cultivating Joy workshop, which helps with, I use Brene Brown's work on the courage, compassion, and connection on how to really decrease stress and increase joy, and we do a 12-week workshops. I'm doing a women's wellness workshops July 27th and 28th, where we have a full day of tools to take care of yourself, including everything from breathing, meditation, yoga, massage, as well as cooking classes.
Oh, that's great.
And I'm going to do a fermenting class in September.
Fermenting. Wait. What is fermenting?
So one of the things that we're missing in the standard American diet is our stomach gets upset. We don't have healthy bacteria. We're so conscious about the germs and bacteria. We do a whole talk on why health begins in the gut. And so instead of buying expensive probiotics, which sometimes we need in a healthcare crisis, but you can really easily make your own and include them in your diet. So things like kombucha, kimchi, which may sound kind of exotic and foreign, but it's really another quick and easy thing to have in your refrigerator to increase your health and wellness.
Some people, they are so used to cheese.
Mm-hmm.
So what can you use instead of cheese?
So cheese, you can make raw nut-based cheeses too. In fact, we're going to show you that today with the Parmesan cheese out of Brazil nuts.
Right.
And Brazil nuts, what's important about them is they're very high in selenium, and selenium is one of the minerals that's really lacking in our soil, in our standard American diet. So it says a cup of sun-dried tomatoes that have been soaked and drained. If you buy the sun-dried tomatoes in a package, like these are, then you can soak them. And if you're busy like me and you are not very good at planning ahead, which I always forget, you can open a jar of just regular or sun-dried tomatoes that come in a jar as well, and you just want to make sure you've drained them, the oil from them, because it's too much oil. Then we're going to add a little of our own olive oil in this. So we're just going to pack a cup of sun-dried tomatoes. And the reason we're not using all tomatoes is the sun-dried tomatoes really just gives it that extra punch of a flavor. It's concentrated. If we used in our raw sauce all the tomatoes, just raw tomatoes, it would be a little too soupy. So we've got a cup of sun-dried tomatoes. And then we're going to put in 2 tomatoes. And this is the first tomato from my garden. And we're going to put it all in the food processor. So I might take the little top off here. And it says seeded, and sometimes I take the seeds out and sometimes I don't. What you don't want it is too soupy. So you can see how if you take the seeds out, it's pretty watery. 2 cloves of garlic crushed. Here's my garlic. The way I crush it, I just peel it. And my garlic press. Up here. You can mince it or use a garlic press. A tablespoon of nama shoyu, or I use Bragg's Aminos. It's a good salt substitute, and it's used in a lot of raw cooking. You can put whatever Italian herbs you like, but I'm just going to pull off 2 tablespoons of basil. And it's funny, I'm doing these food classes for Living Social, and they call me Chef Lisa. And when I told my husband I was going to start doing food classes, he says, "You can't do food classes. You're such a slob in the kitchen." And you can see I kind of measure very easily. So I've got oregano here, and I've got thyme, and I have rosemary. So the wonderful thing about cooking for yourself, too, is you can do it to your own taste. One diet doesn't work for all people at all times in their life, and we don't have all the same taste buds. So I'm going to put in some oregano, some thyme, and I'm just peeling it here from my garden. It's so pretty. It's so colorful. Here's my rosemary. It's already turning into flowers, and it smells so pungent. In fact, I had a dinner party for my girlfriend's birthday, and the minute she walks in the house, she goes, "Oh, what is that smell?" Well, it's this quick and dirty recipe. So. And then if I had dried chilies, I could put chili in. I'm going to put a little dash of cayenne pepper. And this is olive oil that my daughter, who just got married, got on her honeymoon and brought back for me. So you guys are really in for a treat. You've got really special extra virgin olive oil, and you have my first tomato from the garden, and the herbs from my garden. And then we can put a pinch of salt. And I use sea salt. And just and then again, I can make this as chunky as I want or as thin as I want. When you're making your own food, it smells amazing.
Let me see. Let me smell it. Oh, wow. It's delicious. Whoops. I didn't do it.
So we can add more or less. You think it's good?
No, it's good.
And we'll just take it over here and put it on top of our zucchini. Isn't that pretty? And then we can use the same to make a pesto.
Ready for the pesto sauce.
Fantastic. So again, we're going to take a cup of fresh basil.
Oh, that's basil.
Yeah, this is basil.
Wow, I have to learn a lot.
Doesn't it smell wonderful?
Yeah.
So pungent. So I'm just pulling off the leaves of what I just picked outside. There we packed about a cup worth. And then 2 cloves of garlic, which I'm again going to use my garlic press. But you could mince it. 2 tablespoons of extra.
What's inside?
Oh, this is olive oil that's been infused with herbs.
Oh, okay.
So you can get all kinds of flavored olive oil. In fact, there's a health food market near my house, Salud Market, that has amazing olive oil. And I get a blood orange olive oil and make a salad dressing. Or you just use it for salad dressing. There, it's delicious. And a pinch or 2 of salt.
That's about
A cup of pine nuts.
a cup. Okay, good.
Yeah. And that's it. And we're just going to then take that and put it on top of our dish. And I have a little extra pesto that I had left over. Because pesto is very strong and very flavorful. And that's it.
Okay, great. And now Lisa Miles Jackson is going to show us how to finish this dish.
Yeah. So we're going to make raw Parmesan cheese, again, out of raw Brazil nuts. And we want raw nuts that have not, always you want to buy your nuts raw so it has all the enzymes so you can digest the nuts. I've got a cup of Brazil nuts, and I'm going to put in about a teaspoon of garlic. And then nutritional yeast. And nutritional yeast is full of your B vitamins. Comes in a can like this. And the B vitamins are what are missing when you were stressed. So, and then salt.
How much of nutritional yeast?
About an eighth of a cup for
Okay.
1 cup of. And then the salt, about 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt.
Perfect.
And see, isn't that pretty?
Yeah, it looks pretty. Yeah.
And then we've got a lot left over. We can keep it in the refrigerator for months. Bon appetit.
Okay, we're back, and we're going to enjoy the zucchini. What was the name of the?
Zucchini pasta with marinara and pesto sauce.
Yeah. Okay. See, I was prepared.
So sometimes life chooses you. You don't choose life. I had my own business. I had 8 employees. One of my employees was sick. One of my good friends had just sold taken his company public and sold his second company and should have been at the height of his life.
Career, okay.
And got sick, heart disease, angina. And as we were really having a soulful discussion, and I was trying to decide, what do I want to be when I grow up? I decided I really want to inspire wellness. I want to help people. He was on all kinds of medications, and he said, do you really think that through diet and exercise and yoga and meditation, I could get off these medications? And I said, I don't think, I know. But I didn't quite know enough, and it's an ongoing learning process. I went back to school with the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, learned a lot of things, and in that process, my oldest daughter was diagnosed with cancer.
Oh, sorry
And
to hear that.
one of the statistics I didn't tell you is that if we keep up with the standard American diet, 1 out of every 2.5 women will develop cancer in our lifetime, and
Wow,
that's
scary.
unacceptable. That's unacceptable.
The sad diet. Yeah.
So sad for standard American diet. So I didn't know that sugar feeds cancer. I didn't know that the foods that we eat, that we can develop sensitivities and allergies to. And I think, again, in my daughter's case, her chronic stomach aches and migraines preceded her cancer, and that an intolerance to gluten causes the body to have an autoimmune reaction.
And I guess also this new genetically modified
Big debate about that.
grains, I guess.
Right, there's no testing that proves it's safe.
No.
We're the only country that doesn't, that
Label.
allows them and then doesn't label them. And so there are several states now who are putting campaigns.
That's great.
If you go on my blog and my website, you can see where you can actually contact your congressman and ask for that.
What's your website again?
www.carpediemwellnes.org. And I should tell you why the name, because it's a long name. Carpe diem means, one translation is seize the day, that really all we have is today. And when my daughter, who's now 30, was 12, she wanted us to get matching bracelets, and which is this one. And we were trying to think, what do we engrave on the bracelet? So I thought, what is the one message, when she was 12 years old, that I want to give my children, my daughters? And it really is be present. Seize the day. You only have today. You know, we spend so much time worrying about the past, ruminating about the future, and our actions that we take today is what's going to determine the future.
That's all we have also.
Yeah. So really seize the day. And so what I do in coaching is help people really with little concrete steps over time to create lasting change. What can you do today to be younger, have more energy, less stress?
Well, definitely you look younger.
Thank you. Yeah, when I was in my 30s and 40s, 30 to 40, I had high blood pressure, high cholesterol. My doctor said, Lisa, you're going to have a heart attack and a stroke if you don't take the statins. I tried the statins. I hated them. And then I learned elsewhere that, and there's a, FDA has even put out warnings on statins. I mean, there's a lot of myths, again, about how we treat heart disease today. And there's a whole, healthcare is healing itself, but we have more to go. So I feel younger. I look younger than I did. I have more energy. I hadn't played tennis for a long time. I just played 2.5 hours of tennis and then taught my yoga dance class. And I could not have done that 10 or 20 years ago without my neck hurting, my back hurting. And my eyesight, another thing, when I went to the eye doctor, I wore contact lenses for years. And my eyesight has improved by 50%, he said, from the last time, to the point where I really didn't need my glasses anymore. So,
so your body regenerates basically when they have the proper nutrition, the proper chemicals inside.
Absolutely. And the one point I really want to make is that we are not doomed by our genetics. You know, how much our health is not determined by our genetics. Really, only the study of epigenetics have shown only 4 to 5% of our health is by genetics, and we can reverse the expression of our genes through diet and lifestyle and
wow, those
stress.
Those are good news.
Yeah.
So, what about personal coaching?
That's my favorite. I love to help busy professional people who just want to be their best. Help them make more money, have less stress.
You're healthy. You produce
they think,
better.
oh, it's so expensive. It takes time. But no, that's why I offer a 6-month program to really work small incremental steps. We'll make a little change, a recommendation every 2 weeks, and then we add another habit. So it becomes a lifelong habit. We would do one little change so it's not overwhelming, because it can be overwhelming and scary when I throw out these statistics of what's wrong and teach. There's a lot of things that can be really empowering. The other thing is, we don't often take time for ourselves. I know, having raised 4 children, being a caregiver, spending all my time taking care of other people, one thing that's really, my children have really taught me now as adults, that I can't be the best parent, I can't be the best mother, employer, employee, if I don't take care of myself first.
That's
and
true, yeah.
And learning to put yourself back on the list is really hard. Extreme self-care. So getting
especially, I guess, for mothers. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you know, we our culture, we have a lot of guilt about self-care, and or we're doing the wrong kind of self-care. So having a space to talk to somebody about your emotions, your feelings. We hold our issues in our tissues. If you've got a lot of chronic pain, a lot of that is emotional. Is just by having a coach, and a lot of us know what we need to do. We just need some encouragement, some help.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I have coaches. I have business coaches, a health coach, all kinds of coaches. You know, we're social beings. We're not meant to be by ourselves. And another big myth is that we should be able to do everything all by ourselves. And it's just not the case.
No.
We need inspiration. We need help, and that's what a coach does.
We need inspiration for somebody like you to help us to become a healthier person, become more happier person. That's why the name of the show, you know.
Yeah.
Healthy food, happy you.
Yeah, love it. I love it.
If you eat healthier, you become healthier, you become happier, you know, and everybody around you.
Yeah.
So what's your website again?
So it's Carpe Diem Wellnes. .org, O-R-G, because I'm thinking about making it a nonprofit. I wanted to use the .org. So I also teach Let Your Yoga Dance at Beloved Yoga Studio. I wanted to teach a yoga that anybody could do in any condition and that brings joy. When I was going through my own health coaching, I realized that everything I did was the to-do list. I was, even my exercise was feeling kind of abusive. Mm-hmm. Sweating 90 minutes on a hot room. I needed something that was more fun, joyful. And for me, I love to dance, and I don't have enough opportunity to dance, so I decided to...
So you mix yoga and dance in one session.
Yeah, and it works
Great.
the whole body and the mind and the soul. It's really very beautiful and
That's
fun.
great.
Yeah. I wanted to say, I am coming out
Good.
with my oldest daughter. We are doing a recipe book, a cookbook,
Cool.
with another friend of ours who is also recovering and is a raw food chef and has beautiful restaurants, and Sue Ansari. And the three of us will be quite a dynamic, and we'll do a yoga dance video too. To share.
Oh, cool.
A lot of tools.
So go to her website and find out the latest and the greatest information about how to eat healthier.
And I love to come to corporations and do talks.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, because it's, working professionals that really need some help.
Exactly.
And how do you lower your healthcare premiums, empower your employees, make them, give them tools to be more productive? Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you for coming to our show and show us how easy and simple it is to create all these nutritious and delicious recipes.
Thank you for really educating the public this way. And my logo is wellness inspired. I want to inspire you that this process can be empowering, it can be fun, joyful, and you really can take back your health.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And live the life of your dreams.
Okay, great. And if you want to find out more about our previous episodes, or do you want to find out more about how to eat healthier, you can always go to our website, www.healthyfoodhappyyou.com, and you can join our Facebook group, family. The link is on our website also. Okay, my name is Jorge Mera, the producer of this show, and thank you for watching.